Well, hello, Facebook. Time to update you on my weird, wild, bizarre last 2 months of the cave life. Well, I guess to top it off, the good thing is, my daughter and her boyfriend been coming down to see me on the weekends, which is really nice. And it gets weird from here. Within the last 2 months, let's see. My son has a loaded crossbow. He points at people's face. Loaded, which is a deadly weapon. My son also finds my gun and also takes that out in the middle of the street, playing around with it, thinking he's cool while I'm not home, and putting it in my neighbor's face. So when you confront him, all I'm doing is playing. A loaded gun and a loaded crossbow, putting it in grown people's face, and chasing us birds around with it, and them. So, that's one part of the issue. The second part of the issue is, my son, again, I go to the grocery store, and the store manager said, "Mr. King, your son's no longer allowed in my store." This was earlier another day. And I said, "Well, what's going on?" "Well, your son has robbed the store. Him and some little girl had a bag open, and they was throwing candy bars and stuff like that all up in the bag." Long story short, they robbed the store. That was kind of embarrassing on top of that. So later on that day, I go to another little corner store. That was Hansman's. Now I go to Marathon. And I'm actually looking for James. And I go in this store. The lady also knows me in this store, the manager, the owner. She goes, "Mr. James." I said, "Yes, ma'am." She goes, "Your son's no longer allowed in my store." I said, "Well, why is that?" "Oh, because he was stealing at my store this evening." Hey, well, 2 stores the same day, him and the same little crackhead girl, runaway girl that he ran into, which is 14 years old. They've been selling her body to grown men. They date in Kentucky on the avenue. Was in 2 stores stealing. Well, that week, that Friday, James just got $70 from me, plus I paid him $50 for painting the basement, plus I gave him $5 for cutting the grass, plus he had just all kinds of money on him. So, the reason why he's stealing from stores, who knows? He gets drug tested twice a month, so I know it's not drugs, maybe it's booze or something else. Because he comes and goes as he pleases. He don't obey nobody's rules or laws. He's James. Kind of weird individual. And on top of that,